Yo, what up, Grizz Nation, and welcome back to another Grizz 901 live right after the Memphis Grizzlies game. This is your favorite post-game show, and it's not even close. Tonight, we're going to get to all of the full breakdown of the game. The Grizzlies played well just overall. It was a little touch and go there, especially in the second quarter, but they ended up winning 139 to 126. So we're going to get into the full breakdown. Unfortunately, there will be no Grizz trivia tonight. Honestly, I was not able to come up with anything, but it is a Friday night. So we're going to try to see if we can speed this show through a little bit, talk more about the game. But I have a little bit more on that just instead of doing the trivia. But Ryan did give us a look ahead. So we'll look ahead to tomorrow night's game against the Jazz. But I do have something different that we want to discuss. I said it over here in the comments of the show. If you're an OG, you're going to really appreciate this. But I have a new segment that we're going to do. It's going to be called the Grizzleverse. And so if anybody's wondering what exactly that is, it's the dark side of Grizz trivia, the Grizz universe. And so what we're going to do with the help of you all is we're going to find any kind of just crazy, just off the, just craziness of a Twitter post or a video. And what I want you to do is go ahead and hit the hashtag Grizzleverse, or you can send it to @Grizz901 Live. That way we can all see it. We'll all share and we'll laugh together, as they say. But me and Nate are going to break down each one of those as a fun segment. But it's only going to happen at the first show after the 1st and the 15th. So as you get paid usually, well, we're going to make the Grizzleverse pay up for for maybe the slander that they're putting out into the universe. But that's going to be a new segment. We're going to do that here in about a week or so. We're going to have our first one right after the 1st of the month. But that's the new thing. So no Grizz trivia tonight, but we do have the Grizzleverse coming. But let's go ahead and get with Nate, and we'll go ahead and get to the show. Yo, what up, man? What up?
One of these days, if y'all want to make money, you're going to bring me on y'all show. Just saying. I proclaimed hours before the game started Zach Edey was going to have a big night. I believe there was a double-double for the gentleman. Highest plus-minus on the team. Just saying. Grizzlies. Despicable first half of basketball. Kind of flippity-floppied from the last game. Despicable first half of basketball.
Lauren wants to know. She missed the first half.
Just enjoy what you saw. That's all you need to know. Just a despicable first half of basketball.
Yeah.
And I said, nasty basketball in that first half. Grizzlies by 12, though. If you'd have taken that line, you'd have won money tonight. At halftime with them down by 9. I'm just saying. Yep. Sometimes, maybe all the time, I know what I'm talking about.
Well, overall, it was, the first quarter, the Grizzlies jumped out to a pretty big, a sizable lead. And then at that point, the second quarter came around, Bane went out, and it was the Scottie Pippen show. Scottie Pippen just did not look good at all tonight. Just overall, he was fine, but realistically, it was just a meh night. But the Pelicans kind of took over a little bit more there. And so Scottie Pippen ended up with 13 points. He was fine, 3 and 3 rebounds, 3 assists, but it was the second quarter that he struggled a lot, but the defense just did not look good. It had nothing to do with the offense. It was just mainly the defense. But now the Grizzlies stepped up in the third quarter. Bane came alive with his scoring prowess and ended up a much better game just overall with him and how well he scored. But just kind of off the top rope, do you think this was a good team win? Because we had a guy in Luke Kennard go off. Bane looked like he controlled the entire game with 20 points, 14 assists. And then Jaren just kind of did Jaren things. There's nothing really that stood out to me, but just kind of off the top, any immediate thoughts?
Yes, it was a good team win because they clearly gave zero. Like their bag of Fs was empty in the first half. They
small bag of Fs.
No, empty. There's a hole ripped in the bottom. They all fell out. sometime yesterday. So they clearly didn't care in the first half. They weren't trying to put forth much effort in that first half. And you're missing John Morant and Santi Aldama to illness, which doesn't seem like he's like, oh, okay, well, you still got all your guys. Like, no, you're still minus Vince Williams. You're still minus Mark Smart. You're still minus, I don't know, Cam Spencer, I guess is the next one. But you're still minus 4 rotation guys in total. So, yeah, I think we take for granted missing guys to injury at this point, just like part of Grizzlies fandom. But, yeah, good team win. And clearly, I mean, I sent that out at halftime, that tweet, and I was like, yeah, they clearly are going to turn it on in the second half. Like it's going to be a different team. And when you can turn it on like that, it's a good win. I don't know. Like there's levels to abject assness. And I'm not sure who is lower/higher on that between Charlotte and New Orleans. Because you would think, hey, New Orleans put up a little bit more of a fight. Until you realize they shot 20-something more free throws than the Grizzlies and still lost by double digits. You know how cheeks you got to be to have that absurd whistle and you still lose by double digits? That was, I mean, bad. They had to shoot, at one point, 30 free throws to 5 free throws to be within 10. Whew.
Yeah, it was ugly. And the free throw disparity was wild. As Keith's saying here, like it was just, It wasn't called that bad in my honest opinion. It just was the fact that it just was so lopsided. It just felt bad.
No, it was bad, Daniel.
It wasn't that bad. Like I wasn't looking at the game and watching the game thinking like, oh my God, would they ever call a foul on New Orleans? Like the Grizzlies were doing whatever they wanted to do.
Well, it's only because the Grizzlies are so much better than them. If they were evenly matched, you would have been losing your mind on that whistle. It was clearly one-sided. Clearly, the NBA was like, technically, this is on national television tonight. Please try and keep it close. And so they did what they were told to do, which is their job not well.
Yeah.
Well, goes with the night in, night out thing.
The funny thing is a friend of mine actually contacted me early in the day. And he said, hey, what are your thoughts about Luke Kennard tonight? Scoring, it was the 10.5 line, and he's a numbers guy, right? And so he's big on that, and was just asking because he was like, hey, I see an opportunity here because Luke's been playing well. And I looked at the game and I saw it was on NBA TV, and I said, I wouldn't be shocked if we see John Morant pop up on this injury report this afternoon and he's magically out. They have a back-to-back. They're going to sit one of these 3. They're going to sit one of the 3. I thought early in the day that was going to happen just because of a back-to-back. And honestly, we've kind of had this same agreement and thought process that John Morant's kind of giving the middle finger to Adam Silver any chance he gets, especially if it's on national TV, because he's not played many national TV games this year. And so literally like 2 or 3 hours later, John Morant ends up on the injury report, and Luke ends up going off as normal, but it just helped him out tremendously. When Ja's not there, it allows him to kind of free flow a little bit more, just because the ball sticks in Ja's hands, just because he is the best player normally on the court. But let's talk about Luke, because Wayno wants to know, is Kennard drinking Michael's secret stuff?
No, dude. He just finally embraced his power.
Yeah. I think he's played well, man. And obviously that's kind of dumbing it down, but I think he's played well to the fact of, as Drew's asking here, like, do you take him out of the trade talks? Is that ever a chance?
I mean, yeah, if he's going to stay unlocked like this, there's always a chance. If Luke Kennard can do all of this for you, dog, I think you could use that on a playoff team.
But is this against good teams? That's maybe what I want to. Okay.
Right. I mean, you got to see it play out, and you're going to get your chance this week, right? You play Houston again on Thursday. So you'll get to see what it looks like. But, I mean, man, if he's playing like this, like, dude wants to be in Memphis, clearly.
100%. 100%.
And he's trying to prove it. I mean, and we talked about earlier, he has turned into a non-zero on defense, right? He's given you effort on defense. He's clearly given you effort on rebounding. If he can do that and then he's able to do more, like, yeah, absolutely. But I don't think he's the main trade piece they'd be trying to move regardless. Anyways,
Okay.
to be completely honest, I think they want to augment elsewhere.
Right.
But he's
Well,
going like full Aang, dude. Full Avatar Last Airbender. He just unlocked himself. I know you don't know what that means, but I'm sure we have lovely
I
people in the
believe you.
chat who
I
knows what that
believe
means.
you. I do.
Mm.
No idea what you're talking about.
If Luke was here, he'd get it.
Yeah, screw Luke. But it's
Yes.
not Hatmaker, not Kennard. I like Luke Kennard. But screw that redheaded fella. He's on the mornings at the Daily Grind. But yeah, screw that redheaded fella. But Luke Kennard tonight, 27 points overall. He ended up with 3 rebounds and 6 assists and a steal. And only 1 turnover, and he was a plus 13 on the night just overall. And so Luke played, really good tonight. I was very impressed with how he was playing, how well he looked, and the fact that he's able to kind of pick up for Ja when Ja's not there. And so played good. Yeah, Luke is not getting cooked on defense. Like that's how he's been for sure. But him being in the 3-point shootout contest, any chance that happens?
It should. I've thought about it this week because obviously All-Star stuff's coming up. I was like, has he ever been in a 3-point contest? I don't think he has, which is wild considering he's an incredible 3-point shooter, one of the best, if not the best in the league. So
yeah, I'm curious. I'm wondering how that is. If he's going, if he would get the invite, because it seems like with now the announcement of the dunk contest, it's trash. Like literally every guy they've announced in it, most of the world has no idea who these guys are. Like Andre Jackson. Do you know who Andre Jackson is?
Only because I've listened to podcasts in the past 2 days.
Like it's bad. Like I'm just like, good God. And he's probably the best one of the crew. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, he's probably going to be the favorite. But
dude, do you care about All-Star Weekend anymore?
No. Seriously. And the thing is that's funny about this is, and I don't know if this is me getting old or not, or married in general, or what. It might be all of the above. But it's now on Valentine's. It always somehow is around Valentine's weekend, not the day necessarily, but it's always around like the weekend when you might actually get out and try to do something. If you do the Valentine's thing, some people don't, which is fine. But still, like even if we're not doing something or going to dinner that night, probably don't need to be turning on All-Star Weekend if it's supposed to be like a lovey-dovey, like you're supposed to appreciate your spouse. I just that part I get stuck in the middle. Like, hey, I don't care enough about it to actually make myself watch it, and so I'm just like, I'm meh on it completely.
We don't celebrate Valentine's in the Qualls house. That's a made up holiday to make you spend money. We don't do that. But this is part of what I think is the issue, and we need to get back to the game. So I don't want to get too far down a rabbit hole. Maybe we go later in the show. We could have a late one. It's Friday night. I don't know that kids will still like All-Star Weekend. Just because it's like you tune in to see your favorite players doing a bunch of cool stuff. I don't know. Maybe they do like seeing guys like pull up from the logo and stuff because it's such a highlight thing. And we've destroyed kids' brains by hitting them with dopamine every 10 seconds on Instagram. But I don't know, man. Like the stuff that made me love the All-Star game as a kid was like the dunk contest. And it was cool to see guys doing crazy stuff in the All-Star game, like Steph launching it from 40 feet or whatever and drilling like 5 to 6. That's cool. But like, I loved watching them compete and like your stars wanting to go win the dunk contest, right? Yeah. I mean, that was the draw.
Right.
And now it's like, dude, I forgot whatever Jackson is in there. I think
Andre.
Was Buzelis in there, Castle in there.
Matas Buzelis, and then Stefan Castle, who I don't know. I didn't know he dunked.
Yeah, I mean,
I wasn't familiar with his dunking game.
It's a name, but it's like, dude, like I want to see Aaron Gordon versus Zach LaVine, right? And you want to see Dwayne Wade, you want to see. I mean, quite frankly, the one who ruined this is LeBron James. Like you want to see LeBron James in a dunk contest, not anymore at his age. You want to see Ja, but like stars starting to not do it is like it kind of killed it. I don't know. Like, I'll still watch All-Star Weekend, right? Like, if I'm not doing something else. But if I miss it, I'm like, that's okay.
Yeah, Drew down here talking about Cassius Stanley. Like I remember Cassius Stanley, very much so. That's not it. I remember Cassius Stanley for sure. And so, like why he was in it, I have no idea. I believe he was a Dookie, if I'm not mistaken. I think Cassius Stanley, which he ended up flaming out, did nothing. So it was bad. I don't remember. Goodness, she was asking about Montrezl Harrell. Was he in the dunk contest? There's no way.
I don't remember him in the dunk contest.
Maybe.
It makes sense, kind of.
But I want to go back to this one real quick, and we're all over the board, which is honestly my favorite kind of show.
Yeah.
But Ed says Luke was in the 3-point contest 3-4 years ago. I believe that was with the Clippers.
And lost a cat.
Maybe. Yeah. So
okay, hold on.
That.
I don't remember that either. I'm getting some slander in the chat. We're not going to allow this to happen. My wife indeed knows that we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. It's been discussed. Also, both our birthdays are a week before Valentine's Day, so it makes it easy to not celebrate it. Just saying. She is well aware. Trust me. I'm outspoken, if nothing else.
All right, Anthony's got some questions here. I saw another one from him earlier, but he's asking about Scottie Pippen, which, listen, your autocorrect is just killing it today. But Scottie Pippen and I'm guessing Zach Edey, should play in the playoffs. So your thoughts, like if they're in the 10-man rotation, do you feel comfortable with that?
Edey can have a role in the playoffs. That's the main concern for him is playoffs, right? But I think he can have a role. Scottie turns into break glass in case of emergency.
Scottie doesn't. No,
in the playoffs. I don't think he does, but he does turn into kind of break glass in case of emergency when you get to the playoffs. He is the player that will do something that you're just like, oh, let's go. Like he got offensive rebound. He was a catalyst behind that kind of momentum play that sealed the deal tonight in the fourth quarter. And you're like, yeah, let's go. That's what we want. And then he'll do something that makes you just want to like send him to the end of the bench, never to be seen again. Just like launch him into the ether, right? And it doesn't balance out enough to be okay in the playoffs, right? Like too many gambles still. And he's gotten a lot better about it. We talked about this a while ago. We haven't talked about it in a long time. He has gotten a ton better about the gambling and the silly stuff. But truth be told, it's not even as much a knock on him as it is you're going to put Bane on ball. You're going to put Kennard on ball. And at that point, you're shrinking this rotation down. And where does Scottie fit in at that point?
Right.
You know, it doesn't really tend to fit.
Right. Yeah, and that's the issue is in the playoffs, he's going to have maybe a spot, but the realistic thing that you can probably go to, you can not have to go to him at all, and you can put in Luke in those minutes. And so that's kind of where you're at. Like he's a good regular season guy to have, break glass in case of emergency if you need it for some odd reason, a long stretch, or maybe Ja gets in foul trouble or just is kind of out of it for a second. But realistically, you can go with the Bane and Kennard combo a little bit because they create the space, but also they can handle the ball enough. And the ball kind of flows a lot more when Ja's not out there with those two, because a lot of people are passing it up and moving, and it's more the style of offense that they're looking for. But good question. Good question for sure.
It is a good question.
Yep. Lauren's dog begging. Maybe the dog wants to watch the show, Lauren. Let the dog watch the show. Please. Like, don't be mean the dog.
It's like follow Nate for FanDuel tips.
Yeah. I got a question though. Greer Gentry, get rid of the dunk contest, or he just wants to have Wemby and Edey in the paint defending. So you would have people trying to dunk over Edey and Wemby?
That's just mean to Wemby and Edey.
But you know,
they're Nate, just getting beat to death for an hour.
Why would we need that, Nate? Why would we need it? Honestly, we saw it tonight. Did we not?
Edey played well tonight, by the way. Like, let's get out of the way. I'm not sure Greer was here. I have been tagging him the way he tags me. Again, we're family. It's all going to be back and forth. But Edey played well tonight, but he did just get put
We've seen it, Greer. We've seen it.
That's the second time. That's the second time by Missy too. But listen, he's owning Missy in like the flow of the game for sure. But Missy gets what goes on SportsCenter.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
He's like, listen, if I'm going to get beat to death all game, I'm going to get mine at least one play. Yep. And listen, he did. He did. I saw it and I was like, it happened again.
Going back to the All-Star stuff, Austin saying that they should let just kind of fans play the NBA players. I promise you, you do not want to see that. It'd be like children, like just trying their best with these abnormal humans. But Jaren tonight overall, talking about Jaren, just kind of looking at his stat line, 29 points. It seemed kind of quiet, realistically. It was a 29 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Everybody played, well overall with 7 assists, a block. He went 5 of 9 from 3. That's really where you get your, that big number from. But Volcano wants to know, and I hope this is Volcano the Sweat. Volcano the Sweat. Remember back in the day? Yeah. I don't know if that's you or not, but that's one of my more favorite ones ever, an OG. Jaren Jackson Jr., is he all NBA this year? If he is, first or second team?
Probably second team this year. Just because he does a lot that's like not in the box score type of stuff, and he's not as much of a highlight player as some of these other guys, which goes a long way when you're looking at media vote and stuff too. So probably second team, but it is just a matter of like which team he's on. As long as he stays healthy, which he's done really well the past few years. So as long as he stays healthy, it's just a matter of which team.
Yep. But yeah, I think that he is going to be all in, especially if he keeps playing like this and stays healthy and everything will be good. I think that we'll have an all NBA talent, and I don't think that's going to be Ja this year. I think it will be Jaren, just overall. But Grizz Girl has a question. Huff wants to be in the dunk contest. Do you think they reach out and get a little reverse going?
Shoot, you're putting what's his face Jackson and Andre Jackson in it, and Buzelis, and yeah, why not?
Yep.
Yeah, well, I guess basically it seems like you're begging people to be in it anyways. So like put J Huff in it. He'll just Statue of Liberty from further and further out the entire night. I would love to see him. I mean, I have a feeling he'd probably get hurt, so maybe I should not love that. But
if he gets hurt, he gets hurt at this point. It's fine. We got guys coming back.
Let's not say that.
I mean, knock on wood.
Do not disrespect J Huff. What is wrong with you?
I like Huff Daddy, baby. I like him.
You should.
Lauren, if Jaren is an all-star, I'm not watching. Well, me and Nate are, instead of the Grizz Trivia night, we're going to pick the all-star reserves. We're going to do it together. So me and you will do it together instead of doing it individually. We'll pick the all-star reserves on each side.
Let me start doing some research.
No, there's no research needed. Off the noggin. We don't have to be right. We have Monday night that we're going to do it as well. So we'll kind of be able to have that sometime as well. So anyways. All right. Let's keep going a little bit more and breaking down the game. Gigi tonight. How about Gigi? Played well. I haven't looked at his stat line. Let me look at it real quick. Gigi Jackson, 10 points, 2 turnovers, no assist, which is normal for Gigi. He doesn't basketball. 7 rebounds, just overall 1 of 4 from deep. He looked much better, more spry. He is so long, and on his rebounds, he literally goes straight up and just looks like he keeps going. Like he is just long and athletic. And when he's on the offensive end, makes those crazy moves. It looks good. On the defensive end, when he's grabbing those rebounds, he just looks like he's getting over everybody else. So thoughts on GG?
Dude, first off, it is crazy how big he is. Like obviously got a kid this year, so we're like multitasking a ton during these games, more than in the past. And I'll be sitting there doing whatever, cleaning bottles, whatever it is at a certain time. And I look over and I'll be like, man, Jaren's moving a little bit different. And it's not Jaren, it's Gigi. But it's like he is so big. I think that it's Jaren out there. I mean, it's crazy how big he is. And so it's, first off, that's just awesome. But second off, it's always going to take a minute for him to start kind of getting back into the groove of things and like getting back into playing with the actual roster. But he seems to look better every night, kind of finding a little bit more. And I'm with Marco here, and I think he is figuring out how to drive with this team. Like, where are his spots he can pick and choose from?
Same thing, yeah. AC's a real saying, like, you can't just keep going straight to the corner. This isn't that offense anymore. And he has to learn, like, I don't know if people realize, like, he hasn't played the whole season. I know that we sometimes forget that because we're literally halfway through. He has not played. And so he's thinking, what I do is I run and go get in that corner, right? That's what they did last year. Well, now it's different. You might go to the corner, but then you need to come up and then cycle through. And so he's having to learn that. And that's not his strong spot, but he is a really good corner 3 shooter. And so I don't want to completely move him out of that spot, but I still think he needs to continue to move.
He took 8 shots inside the arc tonight. Most of those are driving, getting towards the paint. So he's figured it out, right? It's going to be a step to figure it out. Okay, I'm not playing with Vince Williams and Jacob Gilliard this year, right? I'm playing with Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. and John Morant. You know, he's going to find his rhythm with this squad. And then, listen, I'm with Drew here. That the potential is just freaky. And he can shoot. I mean, listen, man, he's just awesome. He's awesome. I was excited when Conchar came in because I just wanted to see what happened in Grizz Twitter when Conchar came in tonight, knowing that Gigi could be getting those minutes. So that was fun. I only saw a couple of tweets, but it was I was just waiting for it.
I know this is bad. I am not dialed into Grizz Twitter anymore, the Grizzleverse, because I've muted so many idiots over the course of the season that I don't see it as much anymore. I see a lot of honestly intelligent conversations happening. And so, and a lot of those, which is, okay, this is one thing.
What fun is that?
I know. Well, if I want to, there's nobody muted on Grizz 901. So if I really want to see the depths, the deep, dark depths of the Memphis Grizzlies Twitter, then I go over there. I just open it up. I'm like, good God, let me get out of here before I get caught.
Oh, who put that on?
What is this?
But honey, put the children away.
I don't stay there. I don't stay there long. But I see some, sometimes I see some people. But what I was going to say is I'm so taken aback of I know I have. So I'm on the betting show as well. And so we have the same setup, right? A lot of the OGs, a lot of the normal people, but there's also some other new people that come in and out of the comments and they're chatting as shows go, right? Well, what I forget to realize is Goon the Shooter he's Goon the Shooter in YouTube, but I don't know who he actually is on Twitter. I know who Drew Gann is here because he uses his government name and he uses his government name in Twitter. So I know that. But most of y'all, I have no idea if I'm actually cool with you on social media, on Twitter, or if I hate you too. I might have muted you too there, and you're just cool here. I don't know, but I thought about that the other day when I was looking through there. I'm like, sometimes somebody will DM me or they'll shoot me a message and hey, I'm so-and-so on YouTube. I go, oh, that's you. Cool. Nice to actually meet you. So I try to put 2 and 2 together, and so I enjoy it, but it is definitely different.
Just a reminder that it's not the real world. Real stuff happens there, real relationships get formed. Me and Daniel met through Grizz Twitter. That's a real thing, but just every once in a while, remember there's grass outside, and it's good to go touch it. That's it. But listen, I get in there just for enjoyment. I tweet things that I know I will be entertained by, and at least 2 other people will be entertained by. And then other back, I just sit back and watch. And I mess with my guy Greer. We gotta have a little bit back and forth there.
And Lauren, have no fear. We know who Goon the Shooter is. It's Jaren Jackson Jr. Well, he doesn't get in here right away. It takes him a minute. He's got to get out of the shower. So relax. All right, good. But, anyway, grass toucher, never met her.
Grass toucher.
All right, let's finish up with this.
That
was pretty good, AC Real. All right, let's finish up with this game. And I didn't even put the freaking banner up here, guys. I'm sorry, and girls. But overall, the Grizzlies look good, 139 to 126. Just kind of getting through a little bit more of this game. Pittman had 13 points. BC looked spry tonight. 9 rebounds, 14 points overall. Conchar comes up with 5 rebounds. I had a bet Conchar 5 rebounds. Could not find it anywhere ever. They don't do it. They're just stingy. But Luke ends up with the 27 points. Bane 20 points. Zach E 13 and 11. Jaren 29, 5 and 7. 5 assists from Wells with 8 points. Didn't have the complete game out of him that he normally has, but my God, a plus 23, still looking good. And we talked about Gigi having those 10 points, 7 rebounds. He was a minus 11 overall, but it's going to take time for his defense. And we've said that from the very beginning that it's going to take a little bit for Gigi to pick up on the speed and pace of the game. And it's going to be on the defensive end. He's never been a true good on-ball defender. He's been fine. He's horrible off-ball defender. He gets lost so many times, and that's going to continue to keep happening. But he's going to pick up the pace of the game. He's still in his second season, and he's midway through the year, and he's only played a couple of games, so it's going to take him a little bit. But we're gonna keep rocking with some GG because there's so much. The ceiling is just so crazy. Yeah, so high.
Okay, let's also not just glaze over the fact that Desmond Bane had 14 assists tonight, had 20 and 14. That's a big deal that this dude's getting 14 assists on a given night. That matters for this team because, listen, I've not been a believer in Desmond Bane on ball when it matters. And truth be told, we're still we played the Rockets and that didn't go very well at the end of the game. We got to see it play out, but he's continuing to get better and better and better on ball, and that can make a huge difference for them if he's able to do that. So I think that's important and shouldn't just be kind of glossed over. Okay.
No, I agree. And he honestly, we know that he's good, but putting up that many assists, I honestly targeted Ja Morant before, the game before he, I guess it was rumored to go out with being questionable. And so I'd had him targeted for a good assist game because he does really good against the Pelicans in assist. And then this season is just on a whole nother level. And so I really do think that this was definitely set up to be a really good assist game. I just didn't realize that he would be out and then we'd have, Bane going off. But either way, good night overall with all the guys. They played very well. So, all right. So you are doing some work over there. So let's go ahead and pause the brakes a little bit because I know you're trying to figure it out. But we don't want to do the look ahead just yet. Let's go ahead and kind of take our time, and we're going to go ahead and look at the all-star starters and reserves. And so I know that Jaren is not an all-star starter, but we want y'all to help us. So let's do it together. We're going to class project. I like to do the class projects because usually I need help. But we're going to do a class project, and then we're going to look at it again Monday and just kind of see if there's things we would change or look at it. So this is what I'm going to do first. Let's do the Eastern Conference because I think we care more about the Western Conference. The only problem is the Eastern Conference is going to be more fun. So I'm going to start with the Eastern Conference. The starters are Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Karl Anthony Towns, Jason Tatum, and then Giannis. All right. So chat, Nate,
that's
Anybody got anybody that they want to offer up as somebody that you think is going to make the actual all-star reserves? So we're trying to fill in 7 spots.
Just out of the East right now, right?
Just out of the East.
I think I'm torn on which one of these two is going to make it, but it could be both. But I think Garland or Mobley make it. The Cavs won't just have one all-star. Basically, I'm torn on which one I think though.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go with Garland.
All right, let's do this. Garland, Mobley as a second, maybe a third for the whatever they are, the Cavs. Okay. Yeah. So let's keep that. And so I see everybody put in here. So let's go with Cade. I think Cade is a shoe-in.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go. So we're gonna go with Cade as a shoe-in that we both agree in. Let me throw one out there. LaMelo Ball.
I think he makes it, but I don't know. I just watched this team play basketball, so it grosses me out to think about it.
Bro, they are so bad.
We'll probably make it because his numbers are so good, though.
But they aren't that crazy good. He's scoring a lot. That's the issue.
Yeah, but TV value, kids will tune in to watch LaMelo. So that plus
they're 11 and 30. They're next to last LaMelo, in the East.
Kids love LaMelo.
They have the third worst. They have the third worst record in the National Basketball Association.
Kids love LaMelo. He draws viewers, man. He'll draw viewers.
All right.
He's got crazy numbers and he draws viewers.
All right. All right, you got him. Yeah, go ahead. Do somebody next. If you got somebody.
Jalen Brown. I think Jalen Brown.
Jalen Brown, really?
I do.
Okay.
Same sort of argument as Garland Mobley. The Celtics will get 2 guys in, and he's the second guy.
Okay. You know what? Actually, I think I agree with that. All right, Kenny agrees with you too, but all right, so we're going.
Kenny.
Okay, all right. So this one I know it will 100% be in is Trae Young.
Kenny.
Trae Young, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't see any way in the world that there is not a Trae Young in here.
If the spots start getting narrow, I do think Trae gets in over LaMelo. I think they both probably end up making it, but if it starts getting narrowed down, I do think that Trae makes it in over LaMelo.
Okay. All right. So we got 4 of the 7. We also have your Mobley and your Garland one.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right.
This is where it gets hard.
Right.
So we have 3 spots to fill. You've already thrown out Garland Mobley. I want you to hold off on that because I didn't know if I agree with that. Plus, I didn't know which one if we did. So we have 3 more guys to go.
Honestly, with that, I think I'm probably going Mobley because there's guards to go against. So if I had to pick one, I'm going to go with Mobley. The more we've talked about it, the more I'm like, there's a lot more guards. Okay. I think we'll go ahead of Garland, but not so much Mobley.
Okay. Hey, we'll let the chat decide on the very end. Not right now.
Mm-hmm.
King Meek says Jimmy Butler.
Gotta play basketball to get in.
All right, so let's go back to that because I see that Rage Tempo is talking about it. All right, and the NBA, the 5th ranked Eastern Conference team is the Indiana Pacers. Pascal Siakam and Tyrese Halliburton are both on there. Don't you think that they're going to get one guy as an all-star on that?
Sure. I guess. I don't know. I couldn't tell you the last time I watched the Indiana Pacers play basketball.
I get it, but they're going to have somebody.
Not necessarily.
Come on. There's no way that they're not going to have one guy. And Goons Jr. says
there
Miles
is a way they don't have one guy. There is a way. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Siakam gets it. But, I also wouldn't be shocked if he didn't. That's actually where I was about to go, is where Drew just went. I think Levine makes it over Siakam.
They're 10th though.
Okay. People care about Zach LaVine.
But do they?
Yes. Yes. People will watch Zach LaVine.
So Zach LaVine is 24, 4.8, and 4.5. So it's 24 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 4.5 assists. Mm-hmm. Who is the other person you compared him to? Siakam?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Siakam. Yeah, Siakam was the other one we were talking about.
Okay, so let's look at Siakam real quick and see what his numbers are. His numbers are 20.1, 7.3, and 3.5. They're very similar. Very similar.
And who do people care about?
I get it, but one team's ranked 10th and one team's ranked 5th or whatever they are.
I don't think people tune in and think Pascal Siakam is moving and shaking the world and putting the Pacers on his back enough to say, okay, we'll put him in even though we think the other guy's better.
Yeah. All right.
There's also a business side to this. Like, we just talked about how no one wants to watch the All-Star game. You know what's not going to make me watch the All-Star game is watch you putting Pascal Siakam in all of a sudden. I'm sorry. It's the same. Listen, you want to put that argument elsewhere, somewhere that hurt us a little bit. It's the same thing with Jaren. Jaren doesn't play this thrilling brand of basketball. He plays a dominant style of basketball, which is what you want to win. But it's not like Jaren Jr. is lighting up SportsCenter highlights. You know who does? Zach LaVine and LaMelo Ball. That's why their teams can be straight up cheeks and they still have a chance at the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Coaches do pick reserves, but listen, I'm just telling you, there's a business side of things. There's an engine that makes this thing go, and it's called money.
Yeah. All right. So another guy, and I believe D'Angelo Quinn just brought him up for the Atlanta Hawks. They're ranked 8th. They have a guy, Jalen Johnson. Do you know where he went to school at?
Nope.
He went to Duke.
Oh, did he?
He's 18.9, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. Not the problem is I don't think he has the name just yet. And because they already have Trey, they already have one guy in, I think they're going to favor getting another guy off another team compared to going with Jalen Johnson. But I like Jalen Johnson a lot.
I mean, yeah, I like him a lot too.
So, all right. So Kenny's asking about Paolo.
I don't think he's played enough.
I don't think he's played enough either, and he has not looked good at all since he's gotten back. Now, I don't know if that hurts him, but I don't know what his numbers have been overall, but they have dropped out of the standings pretty good. They're now 7th, so they were up at like 3rd or 4th when he was in. So it does makes sense. Like, hey, maybe, but he has not looked good at all since his return. So I'm curious if that goes into it. Franz Wagner that as well.
I think he's a shoe-in, but the injury was just made it too tough.
How many games has he played? Oh my God.
I mean, he's played
12,
right? He hadn't even made it to the teens.
He's in 12 games, guys.
Yeah.
There's no way they're gonna do it.
Listen, I didn't think he played enough, and I thought he played more than that.
It's yeah.
Nah, no.
No. All right. So this is who we have so far is Cade Cunningham, LaMelo, Jaylen Brown, and Trae Young. And we're stuck on the other guy. So we're gonna go with Mobley.
Yeah.
As the other guy. All right. So Mobley, because the all-star coach is going to be from the Cavs. Cavs are Boston, right? So they're both getting in at that point.
Yeah.
And so how are we doing the rest of these? That's 5. We need 2 more guys.
You're talking about the Pacers? TJ McConnell. Come on, man. We all saw him outplay Halliburton in the playoffs last year. So
Dude, no.
Haters. Y'all haters.
Yeah, so I'm kind of stuck. Let's agree on 2 and let's move on. Let's agree on 2. What about Maxey? Tyrese Maxey.
Sure. Who cares? It's the same thing always in the East. You get outside the top 2 teams and no one cares.
All right, so we got to pick one. You want Levine, Pascal Siakam, or Jalen Johnson?
Take Maxey out, put Siakam in, put Levine in. There you go. Boom. We have solved the All-Star East.
Solve the world's problem. All right, I'll make a list. I'll put it out. I'll have it ready for next time, and then we'll kind of work together. But yeah, Art says too many guards. I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Nathan,
kick him out. Maxey's gone.
We'll keep going. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the West now. So with the West, we have Steph Curry, the guard. The other guard is SGA. Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and then Jokic. So we need 7 guys. Nate, you want to throw one out?
I got 3 that I think are shoe-ins.
All right, go ahead.
Do we want to kind of do it one at a time, or do you want me to throw my shoe-ins in?
I'll go ahead and throw them out.
I think Jaren, Wemby, and Şengün are all shoe-ins for this.
Wow. Okay.
I think there's no way those 3 don't make it.
I think Şengün is good. I really like him. They have to have somebody off of that team, that Rockets team. Have to. I think Şengün's been their best player for sure, but Jaren by far is getting an All-Star game.
Yeah.
So Wemby has to, because he's Wemby, and he should have been. I thought he was going to be voted in overall, but I guess his French people did not vote him in. Like they tried to. Yuki was even getting votes. Yuki ain't played at all. Your home country, when it gets your back, they'll help you out. But yeah, I was shocked that they didn't push Wemby as much as they did. But all right, so Wemby, Jaren, and Şengün. All right, I like that. All right, I got another guy.
Yeah,
Sabonis. I think Sabonis has played amazing. He's played better than Jaren this year.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
But that's the problem is we got 4 bigs.
I think that's right, though. I think that's right because that's about what you're looking for anyways, and you go into the guards.
Okay,
but I think that makes sense.
I'd
rather have all those guys than Anthony Davis, if that's what you're going to ask.
You'd rather have him over Anthony Davis?
Yeah, but AD has started off so hot and then has just not been that.
Really?
I mean, that's maybe I just haven't paid attention. If I haven't paid attention and I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But I don't think Anthony Davis has been nearly as dominant since he got hurt.
All right, we'll go with AD.
Am I wrong?
25.6, 11.8, and 3.5.
Yep. That's
Go to-
season long. What's he done lately? 16.
Well, I'm not worried about what he's done lately. They're going to look at his total body of work.
Maybe.
22.6, 6.4, and then 2.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Jaren has the least amount of numbers on those.
Yeah, Jaren's good man.
But Jaren has to get in because they have to have a Grizzly. I'm just like third best team. You got to put somebody off that team in.
Jaren's been better this year too.
And Jaren has been incredible, and his defense has been just really good.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think Jaren's in.
All
right. So we're gonna hold off on AD at the moment. You're saying
maybe because you get how many spots do you get for each position in reserves? Because you get so many for each position, and then you get two. Isn't it two wild cards?
I think it's 2 guards, 3 bigs, and then 2 wild cards.
3 bigs,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
Okay. I think that solves a problem. You just throw AD in there. AD has played more games than I thought he did. I thought he missed more games this year. So that changes it a little bit for me. But and also I had to stay up too late to watch the Lakers. So I watched the Lakers this year.
So we've only gotten bigs in. We have Şengün, Jaren, Sabonis, Anthony Davis, and Wemby as our 5.
Well, look at this though. Look at the way it plays out. The guard play once you get past SGA, and I'm including Curry, who's starting in this. Even including Curry, the guard play has not been incredible in the West this year. All your guys have been hurt. Ja's been hurt.
Yeah.
Even you look at Dallas, Luka and Kyrie have both been hurt. Yeah. So once you get to guards, which is hilarious that Luka's a guard, by the way, but once you get into all that, makes it tough.
Right.
Who do you put in? I don't think Ja should be in, as much as I love him. I don't think he's played enough games. I don't think he's been just overwhelmingly spectacular like he has in years past when he has played.
Yeah. No, he's definitely not getting in. We have to have guards, okay? And at this point,
you do.
All right. So with that being said, let me just bring something to the forefront. You're going to get 2 OKC Thunder in. You have to. I don't think Jalen Williams, even though Art's saying is an easy choice, I don't think he's better than these other guys. But I think that the coach that's picking them is going to pick his guys. It's going to go at least 2 guys.
Well, and he is the easy choice given the situation we're talking about. And I've been seeing a bunch of people put him in the chat, by the way.
He's not an all-star this year. He's not better than most of these guys.
Oh, but listen, he's played. He's played. That's what matters.
I get it. But
you had a bunch of guys not play. That throws it all way off. I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say Jalen Williams is better than Ja Morant or Luka Doncic or Kyrie Irving. But they're going to sit there and say Jalen Williams has played a bunch of basketball this year for the best team in the West and the league.
All right, so then let's figure out the last 2 because a lot of people I've seen in here is talking about Jalen Green, which is the number 2 team for the Rockets. I don't know. I don't agree with that. Kyrie Irving, who's played well, and Anthony Edwards. Talking about names, talking about a highlight factory.
Yep.
There you go. And if everybody's wondering, Chuck made it. Everybody say hello, Chuck.
Hi, Chuck. What an idiot. I do think Ant makes it. Just because, since Adam Silver's decided, hey, let me tank the league and just blackball Ja Morant, he's just doing everything he can to make Anthony Edwards work as a face of the league. So, despite the fact he's given refs a double bird in the middle of the game. So, which is much better than what Ja did. Well, better example.
But hold on. Right now, you have 1 Rocket, 1 Grizzly, you have 1 Nugget, and you have 2 Lakers, no Clippers, no Mavericks, no Timberwolves. You have Sabonis for the Kings, no Phoenix Suns, And then you have one for the Warriors, one for the Spurs, and then nothing for Portland, New Orleans, or Utah. We know that we can agree the last three are
Durant's in.
zero chance.
We got a son. We got a son. Durant's in there.
Oh, Durant's in. You're right. Okay, there you go. So there's no way they're going to get Booker in if Durant's already in. I know somebody brought his name up earlier. There's no way, because I'm telling you, they look at how they can somehow be diverse on getting these teams in, and so
let me double check something here. But I think Ant's easy. Do we agree Ant's going to make it?
I think Ant makes it just off a name alone.
I agree.
And I think his stats are good enough, and he's the best player on that team.
I agree. And at that point, it comes down to two guys for me.
Okay.
Do you have something you think's pretty clear cut?
No.
Okay. I think at that point, it comes down to two guys. One of them is Jalen Green.
Okay.
I think Jalen Green's name is absolutely in there. And I think that James Harden.
Whoa.
Is the other one.
That threw me for a loop. I thought you were going to say Kyrie.
No, because James Harden has carried that team to a playoff berth so far this year.
Wow.
And so, listen, it's not pretty. Like, it's not one of these where like, oh man, these guys both deserve it this year. That's not what we're fighting for. It's like kind of like, okay, who do we put in there to fill this spot?
But it's a lot easier. I'm sorry, it's a lot harder to make it in the West than in the East. We were trying to figure out who was just good enough to put in over there.
Yeah, agreed. But even here, like John Morant doesn't miss as many games as he does. I think John Morant ends up probably being a shoe-in as well. And you throw in Luka, shoe-in if he's playing, right? There's a lot of injuries that make this where you're kind of, really good players, but scraping the barrel at all-star speak. Those are the two. I think those are the two names it comes down to.
For who? Harden and who?
Jalen Green.
Okay.
I think those are the two.
All right, Green's the last one. I'm going to do the numbers on real quick before I kind of we look through numbers. And I know that we're looking at, honestly, stats, but we're also looking at, gameplay just overall. But, like, Norm Powell, he's good as well, for that team. I don't see how in the world Jalen Green makes it. I don't see that. That would be he's 31st in scoring overall in the league. 109th in rebounds, 93rd in assists. Just within those numbers, just looking at it. So the guy who has the best numbers is Ant. And I think we agree that Ant's in overall. They're all very close. The best numbers overall is Harden. So Green has 21.3 points, 4.3 rebounds, 2.7 assists. Harden is very much the same line with the points, 21.2. But he's got 5.9 rebounds and 8.2 assists. So he's got 6 more assists and 1 more rebound average per game. Kyrie's 24.5, so he's averaging 3 points more a game. But he's the same with Green he's 1 less than Harden on the rebounds and 4 less than Harden on the assist. I don't know. I just Art's trying to get Russell Westbrook in this game. Not sure that's going to happen.
Listen, I love Russ in the All-Star game, but I don't think so. I think it comes down to sort of the same thing we were talking about, though. Houston getting 2 players in just because of how good they've been versus the guy who's carried the team. I lean towards James Harden.
Okay.
But I also am like, I don't think you should get in just because of team success necessarily. I think team success plays a factor, but there's those years where Russell Westbrook won MVP for a very mediocre OKC team, right? But he deserved it. So I think same thing with James Harden. I think every time I've watched James Harden this year, he's looked honestly as not as spectacular, but as solid as I've ever seen him be.
Okay. Well, listen, we're gonna put these out. We're gonna have these for the next show. We're gonna dig through and see kind of what we're looking at.
Over.
Yeah, we're probably gonna restart everything, but. That's going to be our list. I'm going to read you our list as soon as we get back from doing a little bit of the look ahead. I know we're getting a little bit late in this, and we've kind of talking through it. So, one, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate everybody for just kind of playing along with us and giving us your thoughts. This is harder in the West for sure than it is in the East. And I hope everybody realizes how good the Western Conference really is. But let's go ahead and take a look ahead at the game tomorrow with the Jazz. And spoiler alert, this is a sneaky trap game.
Time to look ahead to Saturday night's home matchup for the Memphis Grizzlies against the Utah Jazz. Look, the Jazz are record-wise not a very good team. They're 10-32. They've lost 4 straight games. This is actually the last game of a 4-game road trip for them, which, usually you'd think, okay, end of a road trip, they're ready to get home, they're going to be tired, here's a blowout. This one's a little deceiving. They have been off since, I believe, Wednesday. So they're coming off 2.5, 3 days rest. So expect a max effort from a very young Utah Jazz team who have actually gotten better every month of the season so far. So they went from the beginning of the season getting blown out by everybody to being moderately competitive in the last 2 months. And then in January, they've been pretty competitive overall. And I know with all the losses, you wouldn't think that. But they have been trending upward for an extremely young team mixed in with veteran pieces who maybe altogether don't really make sense. So if in the line in this game, if it's Grizzlies -9.5, anywhere up to -12.5, I have interest in the dog covering the points here. I think this could be a close competitive game. We know the Jazz have given the Grizzlies problems in the past with their similar 5-out motion style. And so it's all about who makes and misses shots. And that's unfortunately kind of the reality of the NBA now. It's whoever makes or misses their shots typically wins the game. So I think this is going to be a wide open, fast-paced, offensive up and down game. I think it could be close and competitive, expecting a Grizz win, but the Jazz have been competitive of late and could make this interesting all the way up to the end.
All right, I heard somebody say, it's a trap.
It's a trap! Fantastic reference, Art. Absolutely fantastic reference. I mean, even Daniel gets it, which tells you how good it is. He doesn't get anything. And Lauren, the drink presentations appreciate.
That's why I brought this.
Listen, I mixed it up tonight. Went with a little mezcal instead. But hey, it's still a good night. It's still a good night. But yeah, fantastic reference. I live for those.
All right. So Art, I know Art watches the Daily Grind in the morning with Luke, and Luke has I think it's on Friday, I believe it is. It's called, or no, I don't think it actually is Friday. I don't know what day it is. But it's a segment they do called It's a Trap. And so that's how he always does it. So I have no idea who in the world says that, but I do believe somebody is alive that they thought was dead. No. I do know that. But you don't watch it. I understand. It's 6:30 your time, so I agree. But
you're wrong on the reference, though. Just so you know.
Is he dead?
No, it's they just go into a trap. That's all that happens. There's nobody has died yet. I'm sure somebody has died.
No, the character, the man.
That's an off-screen. I'm sure an off-screen rebel somewhere died, but no one that mattered to you died so far.
Anyway, so the Grizzlies play tomorrow. It is I believe it is a night game. Yeah, 7:00. It's a night game, so normal time. They're bringing in the Utah Jazz, and so it should be a good game overall. But as Ryan has talked about, they've been off, so they should have fresh legs. We should get Ja back. I heard that it is mainly just cold symptoms, and so it's nothing crazy. But that's kind of what supposedly kind of was taking out Santi and giving him, maybe bad shot itis. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it is what it is. But yeah, Grizzlies are favored by how much, Nate?
They were 9.5.
11.5. Should we take the points?
Nope.
Oh, for Utah. But
No.
but anyway, yeah, it's definitely it's a trap. Luke's gonna be so proud of this. We might have to cut it up for him.
Yeah.
But overall, I do think that the Grizzlies come out and play well. I wouldn't be shocked if we see one of the big three sit again, whether Ja comes back and he's magically healed better, and then they give rest to somebody else. But I do think that we're going to have somebody, just kind of take a seat, because they do play again on Monday. And so taking on the Knicks on Monday, we're going to do that. I'm actually going to be on a live pregame show. It's an afternoon show for the New York Knicks. I do not know what the actual game, what the show is called. If you don't mind, I'm going to look at it real quick. But your thoughts on either one of the game, the Jazz or the Knicks?
I would love for them to just take care of business and coast through that Jazz game like they did before. I think they probably won't be able to do that because it's a feisty team. But that's the hope. But I would like for everyone to be rested up and ready for that Knicks game, just because it'd be fun. It'd be fun for those teams to both play well going into that. So I'd like to see that. And it'll be an interesting matchup.
Right.
It's just interesting. I don't know how they match up with that team, right? It's like feels like it could go kind of any which way. Other than Jalen Brunson to shoot 55 free throws.
Sure. No doubt. Yeah. I don't want to see the slow, methodical part of him. And I'm going to dig into that a little bit more as we get closer. But it's Knicks Film School, and they do a pregame. And so it's going to be live Monday at 11 our time. So Monday at 11 o'clock, we're going to be live at Knicks Film School. I'll try to tweet it out from Grizz 901, but also my personal account out at Daniel Greer. So come hang out if you're in the just kind of just looking for things to do, maybe looking, a show between some Grind City media shows that are going live throughout that time as well. There should be other shows that are going to be live with Bluff City Media. But if you enjoy it, come hang out. But we're going to be talking just me and the other guy are going to be talking completely through the game and kind of breaking it down. And usually it's fun. Last time it was 45 minutes. It just flew like that. So they do a good job over there. But all right, let's go through our guys real quick, and we're going to get out of here on the show. But we do have the starters, which is one of those is Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns that are playing for the Knicks. And we have Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, and then Giannis. For the reserves, we have Mobley, Cade, LaMelo, Jaylen Brown, Trae Young, Pascal Siakam, and Zach LaVine. I think that's going to change on Monday for sure. All right. And so the other guys that we have for the Western Conference reserves is starters are Steph Curry, SGA, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and then Nikola Jokic. And for the reserves, LaMelo. I'm on the other side. Wemby, AD, Sabonis, Jaren, Anthony Edwards, Sengun, Harden, and then did I say LaMelo?
Yeah, but LaMelo not the Western Conference, so.
Yep, you're right. So yeah, I got it right. I'm good. I knew LaMelo. Anyway, yeah, we're going to figure out something. There's so many guards in the East, so many bigs in the West. Like it's crazy.
Let's make a trade.
Greer wants to know: did you say AD or ED for Oscar?
No comment. All right. First off, I can't believe you just glazed over this. I can't believe you just decided you're going to move past the Jazz game and not mention the John Collins and Colin Sexton sudden rest out. It's going to have me hitting I need someone to go get me a pack of menthols like the old days so I can get that Matthew McConaughey Buddy, that's all I'm wanting. Just like, hey, all of a sudden they have to rest and then they just never get on the plane back. God, dude, just come on. We don't even have to rest guys because Jake and Marcus are both hurt. Makes it easy. We don't even have to miss guys for the game.
Lauren, me and you, Nate, please, please.
Listen, man, I used to love that Marlboro Green Pack, but I quit for the betterment of my family. But I would do it again if it meant that Colin Sexton and John Collins don't get on a plane back to Utah.
Marlboro Green? What is the green one?
Menthols.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I do. That's not a good thing, but like I said, I would do it again.
I'd do it again. All right, that's enough for this show.
More for a lot less.
We're off on the weekend as always. Thank you all for hanging out with us. It has definitely been it's been a fun show. Not as much graphic wise, so I apologize about that. I thought about trying to get something up on the screen, that way you could see the different guys we're selecting. I might try to do it for Monday, and as we keep going on and looking at the different the guys that they're going to be drafting and who the reserves are that are picked. And so anyway, it's been fun. Thank you all for hanging out with us. It is 67-15 still alive. The Grizzlies are up by 15 games above 500 at this moment, and so it's been a good season. It's been a good run so far. But thank you everybody for hanging out with us. We'll see you all Monday night. If I don't see you before then, be nice and tell your friends. How long can you hold it?